Greetings, and we are live, and welcome to the last tarot time of the year. And there's a lot to talk about. So, in tarot time, what we do is we do some divination work through tarot and other means that will tap into things that may be going on in your life personally for the coming week or couple of weeks, or what's going on in the world around us. And it's also our community hour. So I'm going to keep an eye on what you guys are commenting and maybe join in on the conversation from time to time also. So big week, big changes, lots to talk about. I'm going to put the glasses on, say a few quick hellos while people that are coming live get their notifications, and we're going to dive on in. So anyway, Mike Amar, welcome. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Mary, Lisa, Suzette, Karen, Brooke, Lindsay, Jody, Katie. Very good. Very good. So a lot of people are coming on already. So it's a very kind of gray, mildish day, dark. The sky is pretty dark. So Suzette, thank you so much. You're so kind. We love you. Thanks for the super sticker. So the question on a Sunday morning is always, are we coffee, tea, or caffeine free? And I already had my tea. I did not sleep last night. Very little sleep the night before. For those of you that missed it, we did a full 90-minute presentation last night live here on the channel for what's going on in 2025. And of course, when it's done, I always think of the things that I should have said that I forgot. In an hour and a half, how do you forget to say anything, right? But the only important thing that I missed that comes to mind is it's also the year of the snake coming up. So again, that's like the shedding of the old skin. It's transmuting poison into medicine. So it really supports the energies of that. And couple of interesting things. There's a couple of other things, but if you missed that, it's on the channel, available as a replay. And yeah, so I didn't sleep, and then I think sometime between the end of the night and daybreak, I got an hour in or so. Could I remember a couple of dreams? But other than that, so I woke up, checked the solar weather, and sure enough, there were, gosh, like a series of about a half dozen M class solar flares. X class are the strongest, but when you get a bunch of them, that affects the energetic field. So that was going on. So, hey, Karen. Hey, Mr. Floyd. Hey, Josh. So no emojis. Oh, we'll miss your emojis, Josh. And all right. So what's going on this week? The other thing that I wanted to mention last night that I don't think that I did is that I think the energy is going to get off to a very, very fast start this year. Like, in other words, I think within the first week or two of 2025, we're going to really be in it. There's going to be things that show up in the news, some kind of shocking events, and it's a 9-year, and so it's a completion cycle. But the interesting thing is that we have a new moon tomorrow at 9 degrees of Capricorn. So Capricorn is the structures of our society. It's the governments, the financial system, the legal systems, and all that stuff. So 9 is a lot of energy. It's Mars energy, and it's a completion. So there's so many signs, and I went over probably a half dozen things last night with the astrology and numerology that all points to the same thing, that this whole illusion of the society that the society is built on, this whole corrupt foundation of greed and power over others, it's getting exposed. It's going to fall. There's going to be significant endings, and of course endings lead to new beginnings, and we really have to be here to support each other and to give each other some energetic hugs as we start to see a lot going on in the world. You're going to see that showing up in your own lives also, to some people greater degrees than others. Like, I have my brother may be dying anytime soon. So that's one thing that's going on in my personal life. That's my younger brother, I might add. They've been, the last couple of days they've been talking about hospice cares and stuff like that. So we're all going through our own personal stories right now. And the thing is, you know, it's all good in the end because everything, everything that happens, it's part of a what's the right word? It's part of it's a part of a whole of a lot of change and a lot of endings right now. We're coming to a new chapter basically. So on levels big or small, we're gonna find that things end, they complete and stuff like that. So Capricorn moon, yeah, the moon will hit Capricorn later in the day, I believe. So yes. So what are you guys saying? Hey Millie, welcome. Um, it's an interesting comment. I had a friend, a fellow intuitive healer, asked his 94-year-old shaman friend about what was causing my body illness. Amazing kindness and oh, I'm glad that you got a good reading on that. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Um, and oh, thank you also for your kind wishes and everybody. Black new moon, is that because it's the second new moon of the month? Is that why it's being called a black new moon? I mean, we're actually in the dark moon right now, so yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, we all have things that go on. We all have these things we deal with. It's called life, right? But a lot of the illusions and delusions are getting exposed, and you know, it's hard to do like last night. It's hard to do a year forecast without talking about politics and what's going on in that forum. But a lot getting exposed on that level also. I mean, I think if we can understand that at least part of the agenda behind politics is division and polarity and duality. I think then we have some common ground that we can start to close the gap because I did a post on Facebook a couple of days ago. It's really about, it wasn't even about politics. I mentioned one thing that the right wing and the left wing basically answer to the same master. That's all I said about politics. The post was really about spiritual awakening and the cleansing that's going on, and I just had like a firestorm of political nonsense being fired at me. Dozen comments on one thread. Started by one very staunch Democrat, and and I was trying to tell people, it's not right or left. I find faults in both sides, but I also find merit in both sides. I think we have to really find that unity. Politics will be, I think it's gonna, what's the right word, reform or transcend some of over time. I mean, there still may be different parties, and it's fine to have different ideas and different opinions on what's going on, but to debate it in a way that you're supporting one another rather than calling the other side an idiot and you know so much better. And yeah, and during that comment, man, one of the things that I was talking about was like, it's funny how like what I'm hearing about about the incoming president. We talked a little bit about what might happen on January 20th last night also around that, how people that oppose him are talking about him having dementia, having ties with Russia, that it's like a communist agenda. And I could go over a few more things. I'm saying, remember 4 years ago everything was voter manipulation and all that. And 4 years ago, the whole script was flipped. The Republican people were accusing Biden of having dementia and having a socialist agenda, and all that kind of good stuff. So it's like, hello. It's like, and then the other thing is each side insists the other side is programmed, and we know better than you. Yeah, and so forth. And I think we just have to stop this nonsense, right? I mean, I don't know if you guys agree, but I think we have to stop this nonsense and really start to find some common ground for intelligent debate, for constructive debate, to present our viewpoints in a constructive manner that can be uplifting for the other side, not pointing fingers and saying you're programmed, you're an idiot, we know better than you. So that's really what I have to say. What are you guys saying about all this? Then we're going to jump into some tarot stuff. So MDR Mary saying, I tried to tell folks the other day, just what you said, stop vilifying the other side because it is hurting, Matt. Exactly. Yeah. No, and the way I look at it, there's fault in both sides, definitely. But I think there's merit in ideas of both sides also. And Michael saying, you are 100% correct. And the staunch Democrat that you are referring to did the same thing to me several years ago. She's very rude and nasty. Yeah, she's if we're talking about the same person, she's a medium that I've worked with and I've studied with, and she's actually a good medium, a very good medium, and we done back in the day we did platform work together, but the politics, I'm like, keep that away. You can have your views or whatever, but don't like freaking go off on people because they have different views than you. And that's the one that just started this whole thing, just like a whole long paragraph of stuff about the Democrats and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, why do we do that? That's not what the post is about. The post is really about identifying the divide and healing the divide. And here you come in and reinforcing the divide. It's like, but I have compassion too, because I know it's programming. I know the person that we're talking about is a very sweet, kind, generous, good person. So I don't hold it against her. I'll just put it that way. But I just wish people would wake up a little bit more. And that's all I have to say about that. So, I think the whole idea really is let's be in our hearts. Let's be in our power. That's the eye of the storm. Hearts cannot be programmed. Do I say this every week, every live stream? Yes, I do. And I'll keep saying it until we all get it. So, and I know you guys get it, but there's science behind it now, which is amazing. And it really shows that if you can really dwell on the heart, you become resistant to the programming. Last night we talked about the Gwen Towers. I have to give a shout out and a thank you to Lily Nova, because she posted something from her I don't know if that's her boyfriend or best friend, but somebody, a person that she posts a lot of stuff, a lot of his stuff basically, and talked about the Gwen Towers, and they kind of lead this low level radio waves that according to that theory anyway, helps the harp generators to work, helps those like smart what are they called? Those things that you have in the house, like the smart meters and all that stuff. But it's radio waves, and we know from the Montauk projects back in the 70s, they were testing radio waves for the purpose of programming the masses. Now, radio waves there's Wi-Fi signals. They're more sophisticated now. So point being is that even with frequency channeling, using things like and I don't have my shungite with me. I should always have my shungite when you have technology. I don't have it, but anyway, um, even with the frequency stuff, if you're in the heart, the hearts cannot be programmed. Hearts love. That's what hearts do. They don't think. They feel. I mean, they're intelligent, but in a different way. So when you expand and you dwell in the heart's stronger than the brain, and they're both connected. And then your brain, your subconscious becomes more resistant to all that programming. And from the moment you wake up, as soon as you flip on that phone and go into social media, you're subject to attempted programming, basically. And they want to lead us down the rabbit holes. There's a lot of targets of the spiritual people. Going back to politics, there's programs to target the right-wing people. There's programs to target the left-wing people. There's programs for this and the other thing, for the new age people, all different levels of that, for the yogis, all different levels of that. But we don't have to buy in. We can stay in our heart. We can stay in our power. That's how we stay in our truth. And then through the law of attraction, we attract souls that are on our level, basically. And then we can help those who are ready to wake up and ready to ascend from the nightmare of social conditioning and programming, basically. So anyway, what do you guys have to say before we go into that? We got a lot to say that I missed. respond. Yeah, I miss a lot of your conversation. Yeah, and you know what, Laura? After a few responses, I'm not even reading any of their comment. I'm not going to get sucked into that. That's their trip, not mine. Basically, um, I had one person in that thread just kind of citing their education. Like, I do this. I've been a clinical psychologist for 30 years. I know this and I know that. Basically, it's like, stop with the condescendence already. You're programmed. Sorry, I know I'm getting a little. That's not the nicest thing to say, but anyway. So anyhow, I'm just not even looking at any of those comments anymore. And that's keeping me more sane and healthy. So anyhow, let's do some tarot stuff. Yolanda, welcome. She's saying she no longer does social media. Blindly inspired, saying that having beautiful songs and mantras and chants are great. Uh, Heartbreak, coherence, ho'oponopono, anything that aligns the heart frequency is great. I'm getting the spirits are coming in because they're really liking that I said ho'oponopono. So I do that almost daily because, I mean, I'm still human. I still have an ego. I still get triggered, but the difference is that I'm reaching the point now where I can step out of that and observe my programming in action. And when you have awareness, that then you have the ability to transcend it. So when I f up and I'll react or whatever, or I'll yell at God or whatever the heck I do. Yeah, once I come back to my heart and back to my high vibe place, it's Ho'opono. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. And you can do those four stanzas in any order that you choose. That's Ho'oponopono. That's the prayer anyway behind the practice. Um, yeah, I hear what you guys are saying. Hi from Australia, Samantha. Yes. So I go, so much bickering on social. Yeah, they want that. They feel that. Yeah, I agree with that so much. Call your boss and yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, you all need reminders to stay heart centered. That we do. Yeah, it's the programming is intense, and I preach to the gospel, heart brain coherence, and presence, practice presence. Don't think, just be present. But we're human, we're gonna have thoughts, no matter how much we practice presence. Sometimes we need to talk to ourselves, sometimes we need that personal intellect dialogue. But when we're practicing presence, then we're aligned with universal intelligence, which created our personal intelligence anyway. So we draw on a much greater God, spirit, or source. So you make that more of a paradigm, right, or more of a baseline of your life. But you'll always go into ups and downs, ins and outs, or whatever. So what I like to do with tarot time is start out with a meditation card if you guys are new, and that'll be basically um, just a focal point for our meditations for the week based on the energies. When I do the 3 card spread next, I want to do a little bit of an energy read on the week for us, as well as what events may come up or what the cards are saying. So, like any other meditation, you get very present. Open your heart, right? You get present. You can do a little experiment anytime. That you stop your thoughts, you become aware of your breath and body, and you become present. Your consciousness raises almost within seconds. And I've been teaching this for years, and I discovered Joe Dispenza maybe 4, 5, 6 years. I mean, I knew about him, but I discovered him about 5 years ago. And he talked about, one of the things that he talked about was like, there's a way that you can go into a meditative state between 4 and 10 seconds. And that stuck with me because through the years, starting around 2002, that's how I taught people mediumship. I taught them techniques on things that you can do. You don't have to sit down and take 10 minutes to go into your meditative state. There's tools and techniques you can use to drop into that state immediately. And the first part of that is just simply being aware of your breath, your body, relaxing shoulders, chin, temples, and forehead. This isn't what Dr. Joe teaches, or he may, but but not what I'm aware of. This is my own techniques, very similar, but these I find are the principal points of tension that we carry: the shoulders, the chin, and the forehead. So if we can be aware of our breath, stop our thoughts, and relax those principal points, it'll take 10 seconds or less to go into that receptive, meditative, light trance state just by doing that. And then you're ready to do your spiritual work. You can augment that with heart brain coherence, or a practice. We do a mediumship called sitting in the power, which is basically a way of doing heart brain coherence. You expand the frequency of the heart, and then you become aware of a greater heart or greater light around you. You allow your heart and universal heart to blend, and that's sitting in the power. Now, anyhow, so when we do our meditation for this, the idea is you get present, and you step into the card. And the first thing in your mind when you step into the tarot card is, what do you feel? Don't intellectualize like, oh, what do I feel? Do I feel happy or sad? No, just clear your mind, step in, and just gauge what you're feeling at that moment. What we feel is such a, what's the right word? Such a powerful measure of energy and frequency. If you're able to get out of your personal stories and your personal feelings and blend with the energies, then what you feel, it's not coming from you anymore, because you're not in your thinking mind. You've transcended that. So if you're able to clear your mind, right? We have a body, but we're not our bodies. We have thoughts or mind, but we're not our mind. We have feelings or emotions, but we're not these things. When you can get present and step out the personal, then whatever you feel, it's energetic. It's coming from spirit. It's not coming from your personal mind anymore. What thoughts come up when you step into the card? Again, what comes, not what are you thinking, but what comes, what feelings, what do you feel in your body? And that's the way to start to blend with the energies of the card that you're meditating with, and to reap the benefits, because every tarot card is a universe unto itself that you can step into, basically. And to me, it's like the book of life, and it's two decks: the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana are the 22 phases of consciousness that we go through in our human evolution, according to the scholars, anyways. And the minor arcana, that's like the core cards, the number cards. Those are every conceivable situation in life, in a human experience, that you can have are in those cards. So each card has a message in the universe into itself. And just like doing mediumship, it's spirit communication. So when I do mediumship, they'll show me symbols in my own language so that I can interpret it for my clients. So it's the same thing. I have certain ways of reading tarot. I identify with different cards differently than you do, maybe. So guess what? When I'm working with the cards, they're going to address my language, basically, what it means to me. So anyway, there's a little quickie tarot lesson for you, how to read tarot. So let's do our card now. Oh, I like your conversation, even though I'm missing it. Yeah, talk to the animals. Absolutely, yes. Knows they good comment. Knows that they react differently. Yeah. And they're very good, yes. And Millicent asked them if they have a message for you or something like that, so they want to share. Yeah, animal communication is great. About, what was it, a year and a half or 2 years ago, I had Cindy Brody. She's the most highly regarded animal communicator in my area. I'm in the Woodstock area. She's fantastic. And she would have a lot to say about that. She'd be like, yes, exactly, yes. I could see it now. She gets very animated. Um, and what's welcome, Colleen. What are you saying? In the dream, I was saying she came earlier without any inducing or intervention. It all came true. Layla was born 12/27. I had text. Oh, that's a great story. No, I think I know who Layla is. Yeah. So when we conceived our son, he's 25 now. We were outdoors, and I knew we were conceiving. It's the only time that I knew that we were conceiving in an 11-year relationship, in an 8-year marriage. And and we kind of looked at each other. I was seeing the pink light, and I knew that Odin, that's my son's name. I knew his soul was there. We kind of looked at each other because Janice, his mom knew it also. We said, "Do we want to have a baby?" You're like, "Yeah," and I think that was like our best, one of our top 5 intimate moments of an 11-year relationship, where everything just, from a sexual perspective as well as a spiritual perspective, just flowed like magic, basically. And he was conceived, and the rest is history, right? uh God, you guys have a lot of amazing comments. Yeah. Did cook it. I love that. Yeah. Hi, Felicia. What are you saying? Or oh, hi, Angela, too. Yeah, and you knew each time that you conceived as well. Good for you. Yeah, that means that you're in tune, that you're in sync, because it's not subtle. It's a very, when you conceive, it's a transference of soul energy. It's not a subtle thing. Uh, a scalar tone, my shot. Oh, I love that. My cats love it when I do. I bet they do. She comes to me and they do that as well. Getting back to that, there's different cultures, like African, European cultures. Like if you had your baby in a diaper, you'd be considered a bad parent, or if your baby soiled themselves. I mean, that'll happen once in a while, but the point being is that they're their ways is that they're so connected with their children. They know when they need to go. They don't need the diapers. They sense it because they're so in tune with their child and baby. And that's, I think, as we awaken as a society, as we start to overcome some of the programming, we start to come back to these gifts that we've always had. They just have taken a back seat due to socialization now. um Oh, I love this comment. I saw the word hobbit. I'm like, oh, we're speaking my language. You speak in my language, Michael. Miguel. You speak in my language, Miguel. I'm hobbit by nature. I like the quiet life where I can enjoy nature and quietly come home and go as I please and focus. Which I was like, yeah, and the other side is, you're very responsible also. So when you're doing your work, you're doing your work responsibly. So it's not like an escape, or anything like that. It's genuine. Uh, Very good. I know I've missed a lot of your comments, but thank you for sharing. So let's do our our meditation card. Um, Welcome to tarot time, people that are new. This is the trend. It flows, right? So they're showing me my symbol for depression. So those of you that are going through that, do your long, deep breathing. I mean, we all get depressed, right? And it's easier in today's world. So sometimes just doing long, deep breathing can help. But all going to be okay in the end. They show me doors opening. So I think some of us are going to have some good opportunities come up in the next couple of weeks. So we got the Justice card. This is the Hanson Roberts deck I'm using now. I was using Morgan Greer. And um, so, part of the process is finding balance. That's what we need: justice, balance, not just us, not Jaustus, justice. So, yeah, there can be clues in words. I wouldn't go as far as 1984 with language, but there's definitely a lot of programming and a lot of meaning in the words that we use, and the sound and the coincidental associations that it makes. Uh, we're sharing a little bit of Jim Morrison, are we? Um, First song of the first album by the Doors, "Break On Through," and boy, did the Doors break on through like that. Uh, So yeah, break on through the other side. That's what we're doing here. So anyway, so when we step into the card again, we talked a little bit about this. This may me ask about things to create more balance in your life. This could be a spirit guide that's helping you with that. So as you step into the card, you'll see more. This is just the doorway, but you come into a full panoramic view, right? When you step in, you may smell things, you may hear things, you may sense things, you may touch things, and always, see what you get and ask for messages. But this is helping you to find balance in a time where, again, we're coming close to the inauguration. We're coming close to the anniversary of 1/6. What does that mean? That all this political stuff is going to be super, super charged now. So remember, go back into the heart. That's the great balancer. That's where you find the justice of everything going on within you, is in the heart, the center, the core. And so see what you get also. Do you like we do? Do you feel like we do? Yeah, that's a good Peter Frampton song, Suzette. Yeah. My mom would say I was a hobbit, so I'll put a few more comments. Yeah, I'm totally. When I read the Hobbit, I was like, yeah, that sounds like they're talking about me. And so some, a couple of different psychics back in the day that were like more soul readers. Two different ones told me that I was from Middle Earth. I was like, all right, we don't know where Middle Earth is, but okay, it's in the what's his name? Tolstoy. Oh God, I'm forgetting the author's name of the Hobbit. So when do you guys remind us? Toltec. I think I'm all around it, but I'm forgetting the name. Yeah. But anyway, justice in the heart. Yeah, exactly. But he just calls me Aunt Bilbo. Nice, Karen. Yeah. So we're all hobbits around here. Great. Tolkien. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for reminding me. Yeah, I was called Tolkien. Yeah, thank you, Jr. Oh, we had the full name. Yeah, very good. All right, so let's do a 3 card spread. Let's see what comes up for us for the week energetically. Um, any other good song reference? We have "Break On Through the Other Side." That's a good theme song for right now. What was that, from 1966? And these people, you can even go back to the 50s. You can go even earlier, but I always think about, we all know the song "Sound of Silence," right? Classic by Simon and Garfunkel. That song was written in 1964, and it's so relevant today also. And it's like, oh, these musicians, they were a lot of them were enlightened souls, enlightened beings, or channels of enlightenment. I'll put it that way. I feel like my guide or saying, yeah, a lot of them were that had very f up lives also, but they were channels of that divine wisdom. Yeah, I know, that's one of my favorite songs. Serenade, Suzette, is a beautiful, beautiful song. That was probably the song that sold me on the Steve Miller Band, was Serenade. I mean, I like Fly Like an Eagle and The Joker, and I love Space Cowboy, but that song really sold me on that band. Yeah, justice. Yeah, so if anybody else has any favorite songs that are relevant to like breaking through the programming, like what's going on in the world, like the old falling. My favorite, "Stop worrying when you're going, move on. If you know where you're going, you've gone." Just, oh, I like that lyrics. It's funny, the song "Shine" by Collective Soul, that's probably my favorite of those 90s, early 2000s bands. And the line is, "Love is in the water, love is in the air, love is everywhere." I forgot the line, but I was like, I really like that. But if you guys are into that genre, the world I know, that was the song and that was in the 2000s. That was the song that really sold me on Collective Soul. And the video where the pigeon turns into an eagle, and he's in New York City and about to jump off the roof, and then the pigeon turns into an eagle, or has the eagle colors, and he has this like huge revelation, like this huge epiphany, and he goes back into the world. It's a great song and a great video. What's new, Pussycat? Oh, I love Tom Jones. Thank you. Tom Jones was talented. People, would be like, "Oh, that's like old pop," or whatever. No, he was talented. Catch his guitar playing. Yeah, I like it all. Um, yeah, I heard the Moody Blues version of "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas" last night on the radio. I was like, yes, I love the Moody Blues, and um, of course, those are the Bing Crosby. Yeah, of course, that's the classic. But I one of the reasons I love. I mean, it's not my favorite Christmas song, but one of the reasons that I love it is that Irving Berlin wrote it. Um, um, I think Irving Berlin wrote it. I don't know if I've got my memories, but in any event, it's like a Jewish person from Eastern Europe that never celebrated Christmas did the song "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas," and I thought that was just so freaking classic myself. By the way, happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, and uh, uh, Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, the classic Moody Blues era. I love all their stuff, but that was the era. To me, their last super great album was Every Good Boy Deserves Favor. Um, love that album. But I love it all. And then it was still very good after that. Seventh Soldier and Long Distance Voyager and Cult Life Plus Five. These were all good. I love the Moody Blues, so I'm a big fan of theirs. Get like four top vocalists together. It's like the Beatles too. Get four top vocalists together, and magic happens. Especially Justin Hayward. My favorite rock and roll crooner's got to be Justin Hayward. Although a good argument can be made for Ray Thomas too. One of the other voices of the Moody Blues. All right, 3-card spread. Love talking about music. We're a musical community here. For those of you that are new, we're very into music around here. Landslide, excellent choice. Silver Springs is one of my favorites from that era. Fleetwood Mac also. The Landslide, a good one. Yeah. Silver Springs also a Stevie Nicks song. Miracles, Ordinary Miracles. Freddie Mercury, of course. Well, yeah, I guess you could call Freddie Mercury a crooner. I mean, we have different definitions, but to me, a crooner is like usually a male, usually more of a deeper voice. It's very, very soulful. You think Frank Sinatra, but Freddie Mercury fits also. I mean, I love Justin Hayward's voice. I think he's one of the best, but Freddie Mercury. I mean, there's like a level. Freddie Mercury for the males in rock and roll, and Annie Haslam of Renaissance for the females. I think they're on their own echelon, on their own level. I mean, the versatility of voice is besides the qualities, what I feel about Freddie Mercury, anyways. Oh, she's on Saturday Night Live. Wonderful. Yeah, I love the Eagles too. You guys have good Spring. That's Silver Spring. That's a great song. Yeah. Um, all right. I may not understand the subtleties of that, to be quite honest. I may be using the word crooner a little bit out of context from what you're saying, but whatever the case, yeah. Time in a word. That's yes. Oh yeah, you said by yes. Yep, all good stuff, all good stuff. And of course, I'm an old deadhead. The hippie in me comes out every now and then. I'm an old deadhead, and following the Dead and their music gave me a very broad appreciation because they draw on a lot of different styles. So anyway, 3-card spread. Yes, I let me clear my mind a second. So when we're thinking, we're not connecting. When we're connecting, we're not thinking. Right. So I'm seeing Florida. Everything we may get some interesting news out of Florida this week. They just popped the image of Florida in my mind. What that is, I can only imagine like what could go on in Florida that would be newsworthy. Only speculate on that one. Well, the Hermit card comes up. Wisdom, the Justice card again. The Moon card reverse. All major arcana today. 4 major arcana. That's telling me a lot of shifts in consciousness. So part of the energetics of this week is that the vibration's undergoing some shifting. So I think for us as this community, let's kind of step back a little bit and really, I mean, we have to work and we have to deal with the world or whatever. I don't know why they're showing me football games. Are we in the football playoff season yet? Well, bowl season is coming up, but anyway, I'm digressing. But I think, the message is there's a lot of shifting of energies, and for us to maybe be more in more in our meditation practice or spiritual practices or stuff like that. Hermit card, so we were talking about being a little bit of a hermit, right? It's that wisdom from above. It's interesting because all 3 of these major arcana have astrological correspondences. Some of the major arcana have planetary, some have astrological, some have elemental. But the Hermit is Virgo. Justice is Libra. The Moon card is not Cancer, like you might think, because the Moon rules the sign Cancer, but Pisces. And Annie Haslam has a Christmas album. Yeah. Another big one. Oh God, Pink Floyd Echoes. You guys are after my own heart today. Pink Floyd, that whole metal album metal. I can even handle the song Seamus from that. The one where the dogs are barking, ruff, 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 through the whole song. I can even handle that because the whole album is so amazing. I was going to mention Jethro Tull is another one of my favorites. Pure ear candy. Trying to think when their last great album was. Probably Thick as a Brick. Their last truly, truly great album. Then there were really, really good albums after that. Too Old to Rock and Roll. I wasn't a big fan of War Child, but Too Old to Rock and Roll, Songs from the Woods, Mists from the Gallery, all great stuff. Anyway, get back to tarot. A lot of legislation. I'm seeing like a lot of signings with this. I mean, I think that's par de course when there's a lame duck president. There's already the pardons already happened, the clemency acts, whatever it is. So, I think we're going to try to see some things being signed into law on the fly to try to block Donald Trump or something of that nature. Basically, I still see him getting sworn in. I may be a little bit of an outlier in the psychic community because I went to about once I prepared my notes for last night for the 2025 forecast, which is on the channel if you guys want to catch that. But I went to about 4 or 5 different psychics, good ones, good ones. Joseph Tittle, great. I saw him years and years ago do an amazing mediumship gallery. Who else did I do? I checked out Joseph Tittle. I can't remember some of the others. Sterling, good, good ones, the better ones. And most of them don't think he's going to get sworn in. I think Joseph said he sees him getting sworn in, but not till early March rather than that. And it could happen. The timelines are fluid. I still feel like he's going to get sworn in, in January 20th or 21st. I think it's 20th. Oh my God. one of those days. But timelines are fluid. I would not be surprised if it didn't happen because there's going to be so much pushback. And I think things are going to come up. I think this is a big year of reveal. This 9-year. I went into a lot of detail. It was a 90-minute live stream last night. A lot of detail of why things are not just the things are going to be revealed, but what's showing up energetically and astrologically. And I think, a lot of information. I think some people are going to be very surprised, and I think, dare I say, even disappointed when some of the things come up around Trump, and and as well as the Democrats. It's not just limited to that. I think that so Spirit trying to tell me something. I feel like they're saying, what it is not that they'll be shocked or anything, because they know what the deal is. The people that really follow his ideologies and the QAnon and stuff like that. It's just that that there's a disappointment factor that may come in, basically, that that he's not the Messiah, that kind of a thing. But whatever, I'm oversimplifying, but the point being is that I think some truths do get surfaced, but I also feel like there's a lot of accusations, a lot of things that come out and stuff like that, that may be falsified or exaggerated, because a lot of people are very concerned about this coming presidency. Now, don't be in fear mode. Some people are afraid, that what's going to happen. But I tell people, we survived 2016 to 2020, right? We survived 2020 to 2024. We'll get through this one also. Um, and who knows? I think on the other side, I think people may be surprised by some of the things that do happen and that do get exposed about politics and about the corporations. And I know there's a mission behind this next presidency, that may be him being more of a figurehead to a group, whether it's Q or whatever it is. But the thing is, a lot of that now the Hermit card, wisdom from above, also. I think there's going to be a lot more channeling that we're going to be doing. A lot of things signed into law and stuff like that. Justice is law. It is air air energy, because it's Libra energy. On the Moon card, the reverse, so that's heavy emotions also. And again, there's a huge potential for people like us in our community to go through depressions or stuff like that. So remember your tools when that happens. Whenever we're in heavy emotions, whether it's anxiety, depression, we forget these things, because it's such a powerful thing. You know, it's like hormones in the body. It affects how we feel, and how we feel colors our perceptions of everything. So if I'm depressed, the last thing that I want to do is meditate. I have to step up, basically. If I'm anxious, the last thing I want to do, is meditate. If I'm angry, the last thing I want to do is to be positive, right? But these are just human emotions. These are just survival instincts. We have a higher mind, a higher consciousness, a higher resonance that we can draw upon. So remember these tools. And I'm seeing, things like kirtan, chanting, and music. These are excellent tools that you can use to change your vibration, to change your mood. So draw on your tools this week. I think no matter what side of the divide you're on, or if you're like me, and you're more like in the heart, it's like the left wing is right wing. They belong to the same bird, that kind of mentality. And I think the people that really latch on to one ideology versus another, I think there's going to be things that'll come up that'll be a little bit rattling, and I think people aren't going to really be able to handle the truth that well. One thing, again, that I didn't mention so much in the yearly forecast I did yesterday, I think the year is just going to really get off to a fast start. I think we hear more about the most polarizing figure of our times. What the Donald Trump administration wants to do. We talked about tariffs. We talked about, God, there's so much already. Panama, and what else? Um, Transgenderism, all that kind of stuff. That's very polarizing. That gets people very, very upset, basically. And I think that's only going to ramp up. I mean, I think that there's something beyond that, where you shock the people. Maybe they'll see through the programming and awaken. So there's that too. But the thing is, I think it's very easy to get down on what's going on, basically. So I think, again, the major arcana we got in four so far, these are more about consciousness, about shifts of consciousness. I think there's a lot of solar flare activity that's already happening. I think there's a lot of energetic programming that may ramp up as we get closer to that. And I'm saying that to say, oh, yeah, my guides are like, they just want people fighting, basically. Then if they're so distracted fighting each other, then they can carry on doing what they're doing, which is basically, to be overly simplistic, is siphon the money out of your pocket so it can be put into their pocket through very clever means. Good examples like, vaccines are free. You don't have to pay for it. It's like, check your taxes next year. Basically, check what goes on with your income taxes and all that stuff if you think that it's free. So a lot of stuff like that. Basically, a lot. It's almost like people. It's been like simmering, like this whole thing going on with people. That I think it's just going to explode now. Vaccines versus anti-vaxxers. Right versus left. All this duality, all this designed to get us out of our power. Our power's in our heart. That's the center. There is no right or left when there's the heart. There's only oneness and wholeness. Right now, this part of my table, or I can point this way. Right now, my drum is to my right, but if I take 5 steps to my right, the drum's all of a sudden in my left. It's only our perspective. That's what opposites are. It's from our perspective only. They're really one and the same. That's I think that's the message. So what are you guys saying? So I was not a key student, but I was a foundation assistant study for several years. They did Mailer, yeah. Elizabeth Mailer, not that I want to name drop. She went to the same high school as I did. So I know a little bit about that. So what was saying? Worked at 20th Century Fox Art, in charge of all film. My supervisor said they always wanted to put Elvis in a bathing suit. Oh my God. And they did, right? And what was it, Blue Hawaiian or I love my sister. Yes, thank you. Part of it. Yeah, you guys have some really good stuff you're saying. So I have other divination tools. So what's your concern, Michael? My concern remains to be with the economy. It's the backbone of everything. Everything else goes as the economy dictates. So we talked, about the economy a little bit yesterday also. So, it's not my field of expertise, but probably months ago they're talking about watching out around February that there could be another crash, and this was before long before tariffs were proposed, which could spike inflation and all that kind of stuff, which could lead to a crash. But it's necessary, right? Because the current financial system's not fair. It's all part of the whole like process. The money comes out of our pockets, goes into theirs. During the COVID crisis, the pharmaceutical companies gained 50%. They became 50% richer, at least from the statistics that I saw about it. And a lot of people became poorer. So it's like these giant corporations, this whole system, and this whole like mentality. It's all programming. It starts from day one. We're programmed in lack, and I've talked about this before. But if you're new, you have been programmed in lack mentality. Why is that? Because we live in a debt-based economy, not an asset-based economy. It's like, how much do you owe? What's your lien on your house? What do you owe on your credit card? How much can you borrow? Stuff like that. And everything is energy. Everything's frequency. And if our focus is always on lack and debt, we're creating that in our lives. And that's one of the insidious, underhanded ways that this power structure remains intact. basically. So what do we do to change that? Be abundant. What do you have? Not what do you owe, but what do you have? And who are you? It's not even what you have, it's what you are that's important. Basically, you are abundance. Every breath you take, you've inhaled an abundance, trillions upon trillions of atoms with every breath. The building blocks that make up everything in the physical reality exists in abundance. So does money. It's just that there's a separation between us and money, but money's energy and frequency. It's the physical counterpart to the principle of abundance. And it's our thinking. That's what's in the way. It's our programming. Because there's tons of money out there. Each and every one of us can come up with a brilliant idea to bring in millions of dollars. Basically, it's out there, but we have to solve the programming. And this is a good place to start. Is starting to focus more on what you have and what you are, not what you owe, basically. So that's what I have to say about the economy. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to come back stronger than ever, because I think there's going to be a more conscious or a quantum financial system. Going back on the gold standard, I think would be a good idea from my limited knowledge of that. Leaning more towards the Gisera, Nasara. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I mean, maybe not everything that's being said, but a lot of this piggybacked off of Jerry Brown's days and what he was talking about, like abolishing the income tax and having like more of a blanket sales tax on things. All these things. Solving the unfair exchange rates and all that. And then they're trying to digitalize money and trying to really get the WEF's agenda going, which again, that's from the corporations, and more proof that the corporations really run the governments. And then there's a higher authority that runs the corporations. All this stuff has to go down so it can be rebuilt in a way that, the economy can bring power back to the people. And yes, I agree with you, Michael, that the economy is the backbone of our society because we need money. We need that. I mean, until we're evolved enough that we can go back to fair exchange, money becomes that fair exchange, basically, and it can be that way again. So, I think the 2025, there if there's not a crash, there's going to be some changes, and I think there's going to be some resetting, and I don't think it's going to happen all in 1 year, but I think there's going to be more movement towards creating more of a fair global financial system, while the powers that be want to digitalize everything so they can control things, eliminate physical currency, make it all on databases or whatever. But if it comes to that, it comes to that. But back it by gold then, whether it's paper money or digital money, back it by gold. I think we're going to see one, if not two, crypto scams. So, be very savvy if you invest in crypto. That's a way that you can bring in a lot of money if you know what you're doing, but there's a lot of crookedness also with that. So anyway, so there's a little bit of information on that. So what are we saying? What time is it? Oh, we're already an hour. Imagine that. The lack mentality. Yeah, that's a good reminder, right? Your manager knew Elvis. That's beautiful, Jody. Yeah, and the Colonel too. The Colonel. That's what I'm saying. You can do very well with crypto. Yeah, you definitely can if you know what you're doing. 65% is amazing. Oh God, you accidentally blocked Michael. I'm sorry. I don't know. I accidentally blocked somebody years ago, and then I had to go into some function in YouTube to unblock that person. Go into your YouTube account and find where there's blocked accounts, and I think you'll be able to unblock him. All right, so I have a few more things that I want to do. Being that we're in an hour, I may not do all these divination tools that I have before me, but let's do our frequency for the week. Oh, let's do our Native American tarot. I like to do that as well. I like Aaron. Thanks for bringing him up. I like Aaron. And I like to do a few channel shout outs. So Mr. Floyd's channeling channel, or Mr. Floyd's universe. I'm sorry. He does a lot of community stuff on his channel, and he's a channel also. We have Lakeside Lauren that's got a beautiful channel. Millie. I still have to still a few channels, but being that we're already an hour, and I don't want you guys to have to spend the whole day with me, even if even if that's what you want to do. Thank you for that. But you guys that have YouTube channels, just share with us on the thread. That would be awesome to do that. Thank you. Community living. Yeah, let's ground with the Native American. I agree, Lauren, and community living. Thank you, Lindsay. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm glad that you do. All sorts of real stuff coming up right now. That's great. I would love to do that. Yeah. I would love to be in a community, but right now my path is what it is, and I have to be in the space that I'm at right now. But that doesn't mean as time goes on that we may all be going more into communal living for a while, depending on how things play out with these changing energies. So there's some Native American stuff. The sun, yes. So let the sun shine in. That's the thing. I think one of the reasons that came up, or spirit had me pull that, is to acknowledge the light codes that come through the sun. So the sun, besides what we know about it, there's frequencies, there's energies, there's a language. Someday someone will crack it. Like, in other words, like understanding like the significance of the flares and other solar activity, and be able to make a map, say over maybe hundreds of years, and finding the patterns. You'll find that there's a code in the timing and the location of all these solar flares and solar activities and coronal mass ejections. And it's really expressing the spiritual energies and what some teachers call the central sun, and expressing that into the physical. So I think this is the time, and we'll do some light code frequency channeling tomorrow because it's the new moon. So we'll do some energy channeling at 7 here on the medium channel. So that'll be that. But this is all also about hopeful. It's kind of like one figure's pointing at the sun, the other one's pointing to the ground. So it's like the sun nourishes the earth. But I think they're saying, look, things are going a little bit south here in the world, but the sun is going to still rise the next morning. Where there's light, there's hope. And the light of the sun, light is what integrates the shadows, whether it's the collective shadows of our society, of our collective, or our personal shadows. Shadows don't exist when there's no light. So when you shine light on a shadow, there's no shadow anymore. So that's a good one to pull. All right, be a little bit selective. Since we're on the Native American thing, and I have my pipe here also. This is the medicine cards. This will give us from drawing on North American totem animals. This will give us our animal message for the week, our animal totem message for the week. Oh, hair, yes. I want to see Wicked. I'm not. I haven't been to concerts or shows forever. I want to see Wicked though. And yeah, if there's a good revival of Hair, of course I would want to see Hair. All right. So anyway, back to the animals. This one, this card, and this card is the antelope. They're antelopes. They're strong. They have a lot of stamina. A lot of drive, right? And the deer and the antelope play, the land of the free, right? So this could be just sort of an interpretable message of freedom. I want to see what it says in the book. I don't know their meaning to all of this. But I think of strength. When I see an antelope, I think of strength. I'm thinking of beauty, and I'm thinking of perseverance and stamina. That's what I'm thinking, and I think that's what we need. We can draw on these animal totems. We were out of a Mercury retrograde, but we're still in the Mars retrograde. And if you need to swim against the tide, call on the totem of the salmon. That's what I always say, the one that swims upstream. Mercury's retrograde. You have to sign a contract. Life doesn't stop because Mercury's in retrograde. But sometimes you need a little boost to go against the current. So what are they saying? For antelope is action. All right. Well, I like that as well. Let's take action in our lives. Yes. So when time was beginning, I'm not going to read the whole thing. But there's a cute little poem. Run, antelope, teach me of action and its pace. Quickly, quickly, so I may run with grace. So according to the meanings here, this is a time for action. I talk a lot about law of attraction. You become the vibration of something, then you attract it to you. That's what law of attraction is. It's vibrational matching. And then through that, if you do that properly, your higher self, your guides will tell you what earthly action you need. So sometimes, yeah, you do need to do some tangible physical work when you live in a physical universe, basically, as long as you're transcended and understanding that. So I think for some of you, this is time to take some action also, basically. Fast action with grace. Yes, I like that, Felicia. Thank you. You're beautiful, that. Yeah. Hi, Anna. Well, you can catch the replay. We've been talking a lot about a lot of things today. I'll just do a couple others. Just gonna do the frequency, I think, and then the angel cards today. It's not like we have to do every single divination deck that I have every single Sunday, right? But I always like to do our frequency of the week. All right, I'm looking at your comments as I'm doing this also. We didn't be sorry, Anna. Life happens. We're here, and it's not like I'm not going to be offended if people drop out for a time. Life happens. All right, so coming to this one, we got coherence. Coherence comes up a lot, doesn't it? Key 13. So again, just a reminder. Let's do our heart brain coherence. All that is getting present, so present that you lose yourself the way I do heart brain coherence. You lose that sense of name, body, that your energy and frequency. And when you can get really present and step into the flow, the sweet spot of the present moment, it's almost like it's easy to be grateful, because even if you're going through a lot of crap, you transcend that, and you know that everything's perfect in the present moment, and you sit with gratitude and compassion. Heart Math Institute and some of the teachers like Joe Dispenza recommend 10 minutes at a time, 3 times a day. Just relax, be present, and be grateful. And if your monkey mind kicks in and you catch yourself, go back to presence and gratitude. Keep doing it. It has so many health benefits and so many spiritual benefits also. And what the message is, the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. And that's how it is. The heart is the generator. That's the battery, basically. Hearts are stronger than brains, but hearts and brains, they've proven are really connected, that they function synergistically, not separately. And there's studies that validate that. Plus, the ancients knew that for thousands upon thousands of years. But anyway, the point being is that in law of attraction work, if you get very present and you start to lose the association to your physical, you become more vibrating in the quantum field of the realm of spirit, that which created everything, that field that creates all this physical reality. You're very present, and then the mind, that's your visualization, that's your intention. So the brain is the transmitter and receiver of the heart's information. So you want to have an intention. Where do you want to be in a year? I already know, what I want to do, and I visualize that with all my senses. smell it, taste it, be it in the present moment. I make it real in the now. And then then the heart is the gratitude, feeling like you already have it, having that feeling strong as well as that vision strong. And once you harmonize that, you send such a powerful signal to the field. And then through the power of repetition, if you do it and keep doing it, you start to manifest. It starts to show up in your life. And the reason that it hasn't manifested will surface. It's the programming. Then you can go and do some shadow work and clear that, and all the different things will come up. But anyway, so that's a good message. And we'll finish up with an angel message. They said it's already, I'm becoming the king of the long live streams. Hour and a half yesterday, last night. And that's after doing a full day of reading. I'm surprised I have a voice this morning. So quick angel message for us to tie things up. Next time we'll do tarot time is going to be next year. Next Sunday, that is. Athena, it's safe to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well. So be powerful, speak up. And if there's something that you believe, something that you desire, go for it. Be powerful. And true power is not power over others. It's cultivating your inner power and your inner strength. And then that heart-brain coherence, that manifestation becomes even stronger. Yeah. Alrighty then. Summer of Sam. I remember that. That was what was that? What was was that the Unabomber or yeah. But anyway, I remember that. All right, guys. I'm not sure. Athena the Who. Thank you. Yeah, Athena. I'm not going to sing, but anyway. Tomorrow at 7, we work with the master teachers. We do a new moon reset, and do vibrational channeling, like frequency channeling, which works with your energetic systems to assist you in your ascension and everything. I don't know if Heather's joining us or not. Heather's birthday's today, so she may or may not. I haven't asked her. So it'll either be just me or me and Heather doing some healing and some empowerment transmissions to start this new moon, this new year. So that's coming tomorrow. And thank you, Lucia, and everybody. And if you like what we're doing here, give the video a little thumbs up, a like, and maybe more people will see it. We got a lot of information out today, a lot of spiritual things that'll hopefully help all of us through this change of the guard in our world from old earth to new earth, and the potential cataclysms it causes before we're able to rebuild on stronger foundation and create that utopian society, those 1,000 years, the golden age, basically. So love you guys. Thanks again.